What's good, Liberators? Fingers here, and this is the Tokyo Abyss Survival Guide Volume 3. And I'm happy to report that this is the least painful trek up 60 floors to date. Still a slog, but far more manageable than before, and we will get into why. I'm going to play you some footage of my floor 60 boss battle and run my mouth about the basics of what you need to know to make this climb. And we're going to focus specifically on this third season. If you want more generalized Tokyo Abyss information, I will link volumes 1 and 2 down below. But for this video, I'm going to specifically give you the nuts and bolts of what you need to know to make your climb up this mountain just a bit easier. So let's go. Now, the best thing about this climb is that there are no fuck you boss demons. There are no gatekeeper boss demons. In Season 1, we had Trumpeter. In Season 2, we had Black Frost. These were demons that could hit you. There was really nothing you could do to avoid their attack. Black Frost is a pierce attack. Trumpeter came in with Almighty, and unless you had a Huang Long protecting you from those Almighty attacks, Trumpeter was going to beat you down. And unless you had some kind of Rama-esque demon, Black Frost was going to shred you to pieces. So you were forced to employ the strategy that's on display on your screen right here, which Reika so succinctly coined as the AIDS stratagem, where you inflict weakness upon the boss demon and then use your main character, Red Serpent Venom, poison him, and watch him choke to death on his own compromised immune system. This strategy works really well this time around. There are no bosses specifically that resist the ailments in a noticeably high way. I was able to make this work very consistently. I think I only had to restart 3 or 4 battles this entire time. So get a demon, get Desarayton or Outbreak, preferably Outbreak is probably the best bet, and inflict weakness. Then get that Samuel Blade, Red Serpent Venom, and you will be able to take down every boss in the game. But this is not necessary. Every one of these demons, if you have the appropriate shield that drains their main attack, you can solo these with your main character. Thor here, give your main character a shield that drains physical attacks or drains thunder, and your main character can solo Thor the entire way. And the only real boss demon to really watch out for is probably Lakshmi. She's going to come in, the original Lakshmi. She is going to charm your pants off. Be aware of it. You can easily counter it. There's a Lakshmi shield. Her shield, I believe, has null charm on it. I do not have that shield, but that's an option. Or you can just have good ailment resist on your demons, have them wipe it away. I had Daisujo from very early on, so it worked out quite well for me like that. So just prepare for that. Otherwise, you're going to be facing off with Amaterasu, Vishnu, Ananta, Barong, Zhao Gongan, and Thor. So be aware, prepare accordingly. Again, the weakness strategy works exceptionally well, but is not necessary. You can solo each of these if you have the appropriate drain shield. Now, as for the mobs you are going to be facing throughout the climb, the trash mobs, instead of giving you each demon you're going to be facing, I'll just tell you what you need. Ishtar's Blade and Garuda's Blade. Light damage and force damage. Every grouping is weak to force and light attacks. So if you got Ishtar's Blade and Garuda's Blade, you can attack them all, half press turn, and heal your team at the same time. Worked great. I used those 2 blades the entire way up. Alice's new blade is the best new thing to come out. It lets you just delete one of the demons, and if you have that blade at panel 2, you can delete 2 demons. It speeds things up to a massive, massive degree. I only had a basic Alice blade, and it was fantastic. Definitely sped things along. Definitely helped with everything. And I would highly, highly recommend it. And especially if you can get panel 2 and you can delete 2 out of the 4 demons you're facing, it's going to make your life a whole heck of a lot easier. Just beware, a lot of these demons nullify darkness. So you will at most be able to delete two demons, but you will always be able to delete one. I was always able to nuke one, but I did notice sometimes 3 demons were out there with Null Dark, so be aware. Ashura's Blade to revive your demons after, well, right at the end of a fight, exceptionally useful. And Samuel's Blade to do the weakness strategy. Works the best thing I can recommend. Grab it. You don't even need to have it paneled up because the weakness does the job of infliction for you. You just need to fire it off once that weakness is in. And as for shields, I did the entire run with Gog Magog's shield. Draining physical attacks. Worked for every single boss. And I never had to change it once. But I was using the weakness strategy. If you are going to solo some of these bosses, you will need to swap out whatever shield drains the attack the boss is coming with. As for attack damage that you are going to be taking, physical is probably your main focus. Prioritize physical damage reduction and ailment resistance, just to help you out with that Lakshmi boss, which is the only real... I didn't have a problem with her, but it could be complicated if you are not prepared for it. So physical ailment resistance I would take above all. After that, electric, ice, and dark are going to be coming at you. Other than that, you're not going to see any other attacks. So ignore force, ignore light because they ain't coming at you. But Vishnu is one of the bosses, but his Holy Wrath is like the only light attack you're going to see. So it's really, ignore that. Almighty Kulak, you face him, and he's got a single target Almighty attack, but it's nothing to worry. Ignore them. Physical, ailment, electric, ice, dark. That's what they're coming at you for. So on your way up, get those stigmatas and run with them. And the biggest news about this whole thing is that it has been made much easier. The levels have been reduced, so as you climb up the floors, enemies don't scale as high as they did before. Last time around, I think floor 60 boss had it was like level 256 or something like that. This time, he capped out at what I believe is 196, give or take. So they've drastically reduced the levels of all the demons. That means the fights are a lot shorter. And not only did they reduce the levels of all the demons, they increased the stigmata benefits. Whereas before you'd be taking a 3% damage reduction in force skills, now it's 8%. Now where you were getting, I think it was a 10% damage boost in force skills, now they're giving you 15%. So there's boosts all around, really great. Still a slog on those upper floors, but far more manageable. So this is a great time to make that first run up to floor 60 if you haven't already. Get that Abyss Walker title, I think it's called. And I did this with an entire, I went for a magic build on my main character. Worked fine because weakness was doing all the work with the status ailments. My ending team is, as you can see here, Indrajit, Makahakaka, and Daisujo, which is not ideal. Check out the earlier volumes if you want to see demons that really rock the house in this, like Earl Connick. This was hardly an ideal lineup, but I was able to get through just fine with these demons. Generally, high DPS demons like Indrajit, they're not ideal. They're very suboptimal for this climb. You want those bulkier, slower demons, but I was able to do it with these 3. So, and as you can see, they hardly fit the bill for that. And that is about all I can think to say on this. Hopefully this is short and gets you all you need to know to start off, because with this, the roguelike elements of this, starting off, knowing what you're getting into, knowing what damage you're going to be facing, what bosses you're going to be facing, helps out a lot. I wish I knew these starting early on, but I was still able to make it to floor 60 in one run. And like I said, they made it easier. So still a work in progress, but they're working on it. And also the glitch where if you switched your weapon in battle and you had panels on your other weapons, sometimes those panels wouldn't take effect. That glitch appears to be alleviated. So if you've got Ashura's Blade fully paneled with the 2 revives instead of the 1, and you start a fight with a different blade. You switch to Asher's blade. Before, you would only have the 1 revive. Now you will have the 2. So, great. They're fixing the bugs, smoothing things out, making it more manageable. So, hop on in, check it out. Have a good one, Liberators. Don't get captured.